The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Mike Fantasy. Get up to 1K in deposit match with Mike Fantasy with the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Friday, August 8th, around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Scott Rochelle, joined again by Dylan Rock together to break down the games for Saturday. Dylan, how's it going with you? What's up?
What's going on, Scott? Good. I was actually in your neck of the woods today. Sorry for the late start time. That is on me, but it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful out here, and just enjoying the weather, and thank God it's Friday.
Yep, definitely true. Looking forward to the weekend, and we got a bunch of games to talk about for Saturday. So, yeah, let's get into it. Sound good to you?
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
So before we get into any of the games, though, a reminder that Sports Gambling Podcast is doing another pack break with DAPS. So Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific. Get your team now. These teams will sell out. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/break and use the promo code SGPN for 10% off. Once again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/break. Anyway, time to get into the actual games for the Saturday card. Starting off with the first game, we're going to actually merge the two games because we have a doubleheader on the card. We have the Marlins taking on the Braves twice. So for the first game, I don't really see any official listed pitchers, but we have lines of the game anyway, as the Braves are minus 160. I see the Marlins at plus 135. The over-under is around, what do I see for the over-under? I see 7.5 as the line. I don't see any pitchers, so we actually have pitchers for the second game, so we'll see if they fluctuate, but I can't lay 160 with the Braves. I don't care who's pitching, so I guess I'm on Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be Ryan Gusto for game one for the Marlins and Hurston Walrip for the Braves. But yeah, if that is the case, I have to make the Marlins a minus 120 favorite. They're just a better team. And usually in doubleheaders, the way I kind of play doubleheaders, if I take the Marlins here, for example, in game one, I kind of like to take the other team in game two. But for game two, I kind of like the over. It's Sandy Alcantara and Eric Fetty. I see 8.5. My total came out to 9.4. So, you know, we saw Sandy Alcantara kind of go back to his old ways. 6 runs given up in his last start to an Astros team that's really not hitting the ball that well. And then on the other side, you got Eric Fetty, who since coming over to the Braves, he's allowed 3+ runs in back-to-back starts. And lately, we've been seeing a lot of high totals for both clubs. The over's 5-0 in the Fish last 5. Braves, they're 6-3 toward the over in their last 9 as well. So 2 poor pitchers here in game 2. Bullpens, I really don't trust either of them as well. So for game 1, I like the Marlins. I think they should win, especially if you're getting plus money. And then for the second game, I kind of like the over. I think we'll see some runs.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I feel like for game 2, it's a pick'em. It's minus 110 on both sides. The over-under is available at around, I believe it was 8.5. Sounds about right. I think Fetty stinks. I've been fading him for a while. It's been working out. Faded him last start against Milwaukee. That worked out too. The Marlins should do damage against him. Alcantara was very good early in that Astros start, and then one bad inning, and he absolutely got destroyed. But I do think he's a better pitcher than Fetty. So I guess I'm picking Miami on both, but I don't actually know if I can bet the first game until I know who's pitching. So I'm kind of stuck, but I guess I'm going to go Miami. I feel like, once again, if they win 1 out of 2, you're either making money or you're breaking even. So I might just go with Miami on both and hope for the best.
You think Atlanta's punting on this season?
I mean, I don't know what else they're doing. They were, at the deadline, acquired Carlos Carrasco and Eric Fetty. If that's not punting, I don't know what is. So, you know. I'm surprised they didn't trade away more pieces, though. I know that Riley got injured after the deadline. Acuna was never going to get traded anyway. But I thought they'd be getting rid of more pieces, and they just kept a lot of people that I thought wouldn't be there. Ozuna still being there surprised me.
Yeah, that was the hot name around the club that he was going to get traded. I know they picked up Ozzy Alba's option, so I knew he wasn't going to get dealt, but I thought they were going to get rid of more pieces as well.
Yeah, I feel like, once again, it's a bit of a tricky situation for Atlanta because their entire rotation got injured. So it's tough to tell if you want to actually nuke the entire roster because you're expecting some of those guys back next season. But besides one, I'll use the word Cinderella World Series run, it's been just an extreme amount of underachieving with the core that they have. And I feel like you might want to look in the mirror. That's the only thing I'll really say. I'll ask you, though, because why not? Do you think Snitker gets fired at the end of the season?
I mean, he should. I mean, for a team that had a win total around 90.5 and they're underachieving this much, I understand there were some injuries, but to underachieve this much, I mean, just look at their record. I mean, they're almost in last place. Washington's only 3 games back. If they finish last place, that is a fireable offense. I mean, in this division where they were the odds-on favorite to win, yeah, something needs to happen. So I think they would fire him.
I'm a little bit torn because it feels like Atlanta should have fired him already. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying they would have made the playoffs if everyone stayed healthy, but there is an excuse in place for Snitker this season. I don't think there is actually because they were bad beforehand, but you can make an argument and convince yourself that Snitker maybe can get another year. I would fire him. I don't think that he has really done a great job maximizing the potential of this roster, besides the 1 year where Acuna got hurt and they somehow ran the table. That's the only time they've actually kind of lived up to expectations. And, I mean, besides the World Series run, I'm trying to think of what else they've really done. And they've
underachieved in the playoffs every year since then.
Yeah, so with the exception of one season where everything kind of came together, I think Snitker's done a pretty poor job.
Yeah, I would agree.
So there you go. Moving on to the next game here, we have the Astros taking on the Yankees. For this one, you have what should be an interesting matchup pitching-wise because you have Valdez against Heel. Now, for the pricing, I see Houston at around minus 120, give or take. I see the Yankees at plus 105, and the over-under I see at around... I see 8 as a flat number. I'm going Houston in this one. Even though I'm not exactly sold on Houston recently based on form, the Yankees I'm especially not sold on based on recent form. Heel's made one start this season. He's had command issues for most of his career, and he walked a bunch of Marlins guys in his first start. I don't trust him in this spot. I think that Houston can work some counts. I think they can potentially get a bunch of guys on base. I like Valdez. He's objectively solid, and I think the price is pretty cheap. Give me Houston at minus 120.
Real quick, Gio in the chat asked for like some recommended NFL research that he would like. To be honest, all the research that I do for my pod and for interviewing guys, Warren Sharp Warren Sharp, he does a really good book and he breaks down each team. It's very analytical if you're kind of a nerd like that, but I think it gives an amazing breakdown of all the trades, all the pickups, roster moves, how much money for about the last 3 to 4 years for each team. And it's about 560 pages, and it breaks down every team. He dedicates his whole life to it. That's what I use, and I think it's really helped me, especially in NFL handicapping. But I'll let you say something.
Yeah, it's a mix of that. I also don't mind. It's a little bit thorough because they do rankings per position group. I don't mind what Pro Football Focus does. They'll rank out all of the like offensive lines and receiver depths and stuff, and usually in each paragraph with each team, they'll give you a refresher on what they did to either acquire or lose talent per position. Once again, it's thorough, but I do think the Pro Football Focus position rankings are pretty useful.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Back to baseball, though, real quick. I'm going to take the Astros here, minus 118, man. I think this is a good price for me. My numbers made them a minus 130 favorite. Both clubs, they're not really playing the best baseball, but I do think Framber Valdez is better than Luis Gil here. I know Valdez kind of has struggled on the road this season, but I think he might be getting the Yankees here at a good time where I just think they're struggling to score a lot of runs here. Not to mention, Astros are 13-1 straight up in Valdez's last 14 starts. He's backed up by a top 5 bullpen. Where the Yankees bullpen, we talk about it, I feel like, on every episode with me and Scott. They're very skeptical sometimes. So Gil got smoked in his first start back, and that was against the Fish. I'm going to fade him until further notice here. So I do like Framber Valdez in this spot.
Yeah, I just think he's much better than Heel. I got nothing else to really add there. Moving on to the next game, Nationals taking on the Giants. For this one, I see Lord against Wisenhunt. So for this one, I do see the Giants being favored minus 160, give or take. I see Washington around plus 135. For the over-under, I see 8 as a number. So the Giants are back over 500. They've been a streaky team all season. They've won 3 of 4, so there's that, I guess. And we know the Nationals stink. Having said that, I don't really know much about Wisenhunt. I feel like he's a pitcher who I really have not I'd say, evaluated properly yet. So I don't really have much else to add for him. I don't mind Lord. I think Lord's okay. I'd mention Wisenhunt, though. He's only made 2 appearances this season. He was decent against the Mets, but 4.35 ERA, 7.2 ERA at home, though, in his one home start. Lord, though, I think is fine. A 3.42 ERA. His last 3 starts, he has allowed 5 runs, so he's not been great recently, but I think you could argue he's the better pitcher in this game. The Nationals stink, though, so it's kind of just a matter if you want to lay 160 with the Giants. I don't, so I guess I'm taking the Nationals, but there's no chance I actually bet on this game.
Yeah, probably not going to bet this game. Excuse me, but I do like the over. I see 8s out there at minus 119. My total came out to 8.8. If it's 0.2 or 0.3 more than my numbers, I'm going to bet it. I think we'll see some runs here in this game. Should be a windy afternoon in San Francisco. 7-mile-an-hour winds blowing out towards center field. And I'm not sold on Wisenhunt here. Only 2 starts. And, I mean, he really wasn't that good in his one start at home versus the Pirates. He gives up the long ball. Walks are also an issue for him. And Nationals could get on base. They could score some runs. And with Brad Lord on the other side, I just don't think he's good. He's backed up by the worst bullpen in the league. And we've seen this Giants offense be a little better this past week. So I think they're picking up the pace a little bit. I think this is a good spot to keep the bats hot for them. So I'm going to take the over 8.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game, I see the Angels taking on the Tigers. For this one, you're looking at Kikuchi against Morton. So you're looking at the money line pricing here. Detroit's minus 136. I see mostly 150. But FanDuel and Rogue gave you a better number. For the Angels, I see around plus 125, give or take. For the over-under, I see 8 or 8.5. Now, Kikuchi this season has been, objectively speaking, better than Morton. You're looking at Kikuchi recently, though. He's been fine. He was good against Tampa in his last start, 6 innings, 1 run. As for Morton, we know that he's had a really rough start to the season. Then he got progressively better. His first start with the Tigers, he was really good, actually. He was good against the Phillies, so good offense. 6 innings, 1 run. So he actually was pretty solid. Detroit, though, has not really been playing great baseball lately. You'd counter and say neither of the Angels, but still. For this matchup, do I like the under in this game? The over-under at 8.5 feels a bit high to me. I'll go with the under. I don't feel great about anything in this game, but I'll go with the under. I don't mind the Angels just for the plus money value. I really don't want to lay 140 with Morton. So I guess it's the Angels, but I prefer the under in this game.
I'm actually going to take the Tigers here. I got minus 136. My numbers made him a minus 155 favorite. I think it was a great first start here for Charlie Morton and the Tigers. 6 innings, only 1 run given up to the Phillies on the road. And he's faced this Angels team twice this season, and he's done well. And Kikuchi is a guy you want to back at home, but on the road, he's a fade. 0-5 straight up, 4.27 ERA. Batters hitting almost 300 off of him as well. Angels have lost his last 3 road starts. I'm not sold on the total either, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to stay away. The Tigers are the better team. They should win this game. So minus 136, I don't think is a bad price.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's really a coin flip game for me. Detroit's the better team, but I have just not been impressed by how they've played for the last couple weeks. The Angels, I don't think are good, but I just don't feel great laying this number.
100%. And in the second half, the Tigers have been a very underwhelming team. But we both said it, I think, maybe 2 episodes ago. We eventually think they're going to pick up the pace and they'll be fine.
I think so. I'm just looking at the numbers right now, not reflecting it properly.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
That's kind of where I'm at. Moving on to the next game, Reds taking on the Pirates. Now, for this game, you have Martinez against We Don't Know. This is one of the only games without a line on the actual card. We have no lines. We don't know who's pitching for Pittsburgh. So I'll ask you if you like Martinez in this game, because I'm assuming the Reds will be favored in this one. I need to know who's pitching, so I really don't have anything for this game.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Nick Martinez fan, and I think it's Johan Alvedo. I think he's going to make his second start here for the Pirates, and he only pitched 1 inning, so we'll see how he does. Hopefully they pitch him a little longer, but he really wasn't that good either. He gave up 2 runs in 10-9 pitches. So he wasn't that good. The Reds should be the favorite here in this game. I do like the Reds. Do think it should be a higher scoring game here in Pittsburgh as well. It should be a really nice day. And Pittsburgh's been rolling here. I know they're not the best team, but at home they are very serviceable, 33-27. And the Reds offense, man, I don't know what it is, but one run in the last two games, it just hasn't looked good offensively for them. Maybe this is an opportunity to pick it up, but I would take the Reds, but nothing over probably like a -130 or -135.
Yeah, it's kind of how I feel. Moving on to the next game, you have the A's taking on the Orioles. For this one, you have Perkins against Young. Now, for the pricing here, you have the Orioles who are -115. I see a 124, though, in one spot. I see the A's at -105, but I see a +106 on FanDuel. The over-under is at 10. I think Young is atrocious. Just following him. And I think that Perkins, who has not really done much this season, 0-2, 3.97 ERA. At least the ERA is decent. Young has a 5.88 ERA, 6.85 ERA at home. He was good last start against the Cubs, so there's that. He's actually been good in his last two starts. But I think that him being -120 something feels egregious when both teams aren't very good. The A's offense has been quite good lately. And Perkins so far has been okay. Give me the A's a plus money.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take a total here. I couldn't come down on a side, but I did like the total. I'm going to take under. 10 seems a little high for these two teams. My total came out to 9.4. I know overs have been profitable this season for the Orioles at home, but recently not so much. The under is 4-1 in Baltimore's last 5, and the under for the A's 7-2 in their last 9. I actually like Jack Perkins. I know at home he struggles, but on the road, he's been great. He's only given up one run in 11 innings. He keeps the ball inside the park. Walks are really not an issue as well. So I think he'll do fine against the Orioles, who they're not scoring a ton of runs either recently. So yeah, I agree. Brandon Young that's the one problem I run into with taking an under here. I worry about him. He's inconsistent. He's too up and down for my liking, but the under has cashed in his last 3 starts. So I'm hoping that trend continues here. I think we see a lower scoring game. I would actually take the A's as well. I only made the Orioles a -105 favorite. I think the A's offense could get to Brandon Young. So I think the A's are live here, and I would actually take the under.
Yeah, moving on to, actually, before we get into the next game, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, which is Sonic Fantasy, through Best Mania, happening all summer long. 15 million prizes, 2 minute first place, no waiver wire, no trade arguments, best ball's best way to play fantasy football. They also have great pick'em options. If you want to try that out for entries, you go up to 500 times your entry. And a reminder, when you sign up, though, for your new account, use the code MLB SGPN. Get a special pick and time with an offer up to 1K in bonus cash. On fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. It's available a ton of locations using to bet on baseball. You have WNBA, tennis, golf, and of course football futures. You can also use crypto for payouts and deposits. It's not though for your new account. Use code SGPN to get 100% off the match up to 1K. Term and conditions apply with the DG promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first couple games on the card for Saturday. Time to keep it going with the next game. Moving on to the next game, we have a matchup between the Guardians and the White Sox. So for this one, you're looking at Cantillo taking on Burke. Now for the pricing, the Guardians are favored about -135. I see the White Sox at around +115, +120. For the over-under, I see 8.5. Now the Guardians we know have been better than the White Sox this season. Guardians are 4 over, actually 500. White Sox are 31 games under. So keep that in mind. Cantillo has been okay this season, but Burke has been good at home, a 3.79 ERA. He's been pretty decent lately. I'd say he's steady, pretty standard 5 innings, 2 or 3 earned runs guy. I'll ask you, though, for this price, because I think I like the Guardians. I think they're just a better team, and the price is pretty affordable here. I'm not a fan of Cantillo, but I do think for the sake of the, let's say, talent differential with these teams, I think Cleveland should be more expensive. Give me Cleveland at -135.
Yeah, I agree. I got a -130 actually a few hours ago, and that's a very low price. I'll take that. I can't back the White Sox right now. I know they had a little success maybe 2 weeks ago, but they've regressed back to the typical White Sox. They've lost 4 straight, while Surprisingly, the Guardians are going. They smoked my Mets. They're going in the opposite way, 7-3 in their last 10. And by the way, in that series, they were like plus 150 every game. So they were just printing money if you took Cleveland. And I know some people like yourself, me too. I'm not really high on Joey Cantillo, but he has been better on the road than he has been at home. He did just get a win in mid-July, versus White Sox team. So I just don't see many ways this White Sox can keep up offensively against this Guardian team right now. That they've been very clutch hitting the ball. So I'm going to take the Guardians here as well, minus 130.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game, Royals taking on the Twins. For this one, you have Cameron against Ober. I haven't seen Ober pitch in a while. When was the last time Ober pitched? Let me just check. He's not pitched since. Well, he pitched August 2nd. However, he was off the entire month of July, so I missed his return start. But he's back here again. For the pricing, I see the Twins are dogs in this game. You have the Royals at around minus 115. I see a minus 110 though. So there is one book that has it as a pure split, but I'd say most books have Kansas City as a slight favorite. For Ober, I see around minus 105, but I do see a plus 106 on FanDuel. The over-under is at 8.5. Now, the Twins, we saw trade away the entire team. They've been decent lately. I'll put it that way, with the, I'd say, new core. As for Cameron, he's been good on the road this season, 2.4 ERA. However, he has allowed 4 earned in 2 of his last 3 starts. You're looking at Ober, though, who has been really, really bad, even when he came back from the injury. Still really bad. You're looking at Ober, who came back, gave up 4 earned in 5 innings against the Guardians. Starts before that, 7 earned, 7 earned, 4 earned, 7 earned, and the Twins have been really bad in his outings. The Twins have lost, I believe that is 8 straight starts that he's made. I like Kansas City in this game. The question is, do I want the over for this game as well at 8.5? I would consider the over. I think each team could get to 4, but I'm going to go with Kansas City. Ober's been a pure auto fit.
Yeah, I don't mind the over. I made my total 8.8. I don't mind that. But I just couldn't get away from the minus 115. I think this is another great price we're getting here. My numbers actually made him a minus 130 favorite. Noah Cameron has been actually better on the road than at home. He's another one of those guys. 2.40 ERA. Batters hitting under 200 against him. And he's only given up 1 run in 6 innings of work last time he faced Minnesota as well. Cameron's obviously the better pitcher and personally, I don't care. He just made 1 star and he took the whole July off. Whether he's a fade. Bailey Ober is terrible. He's been terrible dating back to his last 6-7 starts. 4+ runs given up in 6 straight starts dating back to May or June. Royals should win this game. Bailey Ober is a fade for me. So maybe team total over for the Kansas City Royals, but I think Kansas City's the right side.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. Moving on to the next game, you have the Mets taking on the Brewers. I did not see a line on this game earlier because I don't know who's pitching for the Mets. I do see Henderson is supposed to go allegedly, but I see the ESPN listing Myers, so I actually don't know who's pitching for Milwaukee in this game either. Myers has made a couple of appearances out of the bullpen recently. He might be starting. We'll see. I know that he was a starter, of course, last year, and he's battled some injuries, but we'll see who goes for Milwaukee and the Mets in this game. I have no lines. I'll ask you as a Mets fan, I'm assuming they're dogs in this game. Any interest without knowing the price? I'm assuming they will be underdogs in this game.
Yeah, they're going to be underdogs. I think it's going to be Frankie Montas for the Mets, and he is terrible.
Yes, he is.
Home or on the road. But he just got smoked by the Giants in his last start. He's terrible on the road. He gave up 6 runs to the Pirates. Do I need to say any more? He's terrible. We got to keep fading the Mets here. I think it's Logan Henderson. Maybe.
I'm saying it could be. Maybe it's Myers.
Yeah.
Maybe it's some combo. We'll see what happens.
It doesn't matter. They should be. They're a wagon at home, and the Mets are a fade right now, and they have no heart. So if it is Henderson and Montas, my numbers made the Brewers a minus 155 favorite. So I will take the Brewers.
Cool. Moving on to the next game, I see the Cubs against the Cardinals. For this one, I see Rhea against Palante. Now, for the pricing, I see the books are kind of split here. I see minus 110 basically on both sides, minus 115 on the Cubs, but basically a split. For the over-under, I see 9 or 8.5. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cubs. I understand the Cardinals are at 500 again. They're very good at home. The Cubs have been, I'd say, okay on the road this season. Having said that, Palante has been good his last 2 starts. but we know that he does pitch to contact, which can be a problem against this offense. Rhea's the same way, but I think the Cubs offense is just much better than the Cardinals offense. Yes, Rhea, the last 3 starts have not been pretty. He has given up a total of 11 earned runs in about 13 2/3, but the Cubs, I think, are a bit disrespected here at this price. I'm going to go Cubs. I think that if the Cubs were favored by like 130, 140, I might take the Cardinals. But minus 110 apiece or so feels off to me. Give me the Cubs.
Yeah, I saw minus 106 a little earlier. I got the Cubs as well. I'm surprised the lines are this close, if I'm being honest. I like Colin Ray. I think he's been better on the road than he has been at home. And I think he's just a much more consistent pitcher. You know what you're going to get out of him. Whereas, in my opinion, you just never know what you're going to get from Andre Palat. He's too up and down for my liking. And now I know the Cubs offense really hasn't been living up to the hype, but they're still a very good offense, and I think eventually they're going to find their rhythm again. I don't like this spot for the Cardinals. I know they've been playing a little better, but I think this Cubs offense is much better, and I think they're going to eventually get to Palat and that bullpen. So I'm going to take the Cubs here. It feels like a short price. My numbers made them a minus 140 favorite, so to your point, I think minus 130, minus 135 was going to be a fair price, but at minus 106, yeah, I like the Cubs.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, you have the Phillies taking on the Rangers. Now, for this one, you're looking at Luzardo against DeGrom. For the pricing, I see the Rangers at minus 130. I see the Phillies at around plus 110. For the over-under, I see 7. I do see a 7.5 available if you want to go for the under there. But Luzardo, we know, has had a weird season. He was very good early, then he was bad, now he's been up and down. The last couple starts, 3 earned, 0 earned, 6 earned, 4 earned, so not exactly been that good lately. For DeGrom, we know he's had a great season. He's been incredible at home, 1.91 ERA, but I know he was on the road for these 2 starts. He was not good his last 2 outings. 11 in the third innings pitched, 10 runs allowed, so we'll see how he looks at home once again. I think the price makes sense. You could argue that it should be a bit more expensive because DeGrom at home has been a madman. Having said that, a bit of a hotter take. Give me the over in this game at around 7. I think it's too short. Luzardo's been quite bad. I know that DeGrom, once again, road starts, but he gave up 5 earned in back-to-back starts. Mm-hmm. The offense, I think, can go fine. Texas, his offense has gotten better recently. The Phillies offense, we know, can mash. And they've seen DeGrom a lot because he used to pitch for the Mets, obviously. I'll go with the over. I think 7's too short.
Yeah, I don't mind the over 7. I'm starting to see a little 7.5. So my total came out to 7.6. So I don't mind the over if you get a 7. I think that is a little too low, but minus 132 for the Rangers. I think that's another great price for this team. My numbers made him a minus 145 favorite. I don't know about you, Scott, but I'm just not a fan of Jesus Luzardo. Are you?
Well, to be fair, he's a lot better now than I ever thought he was going to be. That's because fair. When he started with the Marlins, I thought he was atrocious. Yeah. I was blindly fading him all the time. Wasn't he like the main return in the Marte trade initially? Yeah. So that was one of the moves that got made, and Marte ended up having, I'd say, a decent run since then. I think he's been fine. I mean, you're a Mets fan. I'm sure that you can't stand him to some degree, but he's been okay. He wasn't traded to the Mets, but you get what I'm trying to say. Marte's been a pretty steady outfielder for his career. Luzardo, when he started out, was a pure batting practice pitcher, and I used to fade him all the time. So I never thought he was actually that good. And then he found something, and he turned into an actual starter. So to your point, he's better than I thought he was going to be, but I was very, very low on him at the start. So I've never thought that he was that good in general.
Yeah, he's kind of been inconsistent for my liking, kind of up and down the past 2 months. And the Rangers, I feel like, in my opinion, are a team you want to back at home. They're also really good when they're the favorite. 39-18 straight up as the favorite this season. And you mentioned it, DeGrom, he's had back-to-back poor starts, but I wouldn't bank on it to be 3 in a row, if I'm being honest. I think he's due for a bounce back. I trust him. The Rangers bullpen has been lights out recently, so I'm going to take the Rangers here. I think minus 132 is a really good price at home. And the Phillies aren't really blowing teams away either recently. They're playing about 500 baseball as of late. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Rangers here at home.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, Rockies taking on the Diamondbacks. For this one, I see Blaylock against Erod. So for this one, I see the Diamondbacks at around minus 230. I see the Rockies at around plus 190. For the over-under, I see 9.5. Now, I feel like it's going to take a pretty small amount of time for you to get through this. Erod should never be laying north of $2. I'll go with the Rockies on principle. Give me the over in this game. I think both pitchers stink. 9.5 is pretty low. The Rockies can give up 10 runs in any given game by themselves. So give me the over in the game is my favorite play. But on pricing alone, I can't take Erod a minus 230. It's Rockies or pass.
How are the Diamondbacks a minus 200 favorite?
That's because the Rockies got outscored 45-6 against the Blue Jays earlier this week.
Yeah, but that's the Blue Jays.
I know. I'm just saying.
I get it.
That's what I'd have to say is my guess.
Man, a minus 225 favorite. I thought I was generous. My numbers came out to a minus 155, minus 160. That's insane. You're almost getting $2 for the Rockies. I know they got blown out in that series, but man, my favorite play is the over. But the value has to be with the Rockies. My total came out to 10.4, so 9.5. I mean, it screams over. I don't trust either pitcher, to be honest. Brandon Baylock, he just got rocked by the Pirates in his last start. And Erod, you mentioned it. He's been terrible in the month of July. And just look how bad the Rockies bullpen is. You saw it in that series against Toronto. They're terrible. They've given up double-digit runs in 3 straight games. So, yeah, value, if you want to take a little pizza bet, has to be on Colorado. But I think the better play, the safer play, is the over.
Yep, that's kind of where I'm at, too. Moving on to the next game, Red Sox taking on the Padres. I see Giolito against King. King's back. He hasn't pitched in a while, but of course he's still very good. King has not made an official start since May 18th. So we'll see how he goes. Probably a pitch count, but either way, nice to see him back. Could be useful for San Diego as they try to catch the Dodgers in the NL West. For the Red Sox, we know that they have been very good lately. However, they are 5 under on the road. Giolito has been very good, actually, the last 2 starts. 14 innings, 2 total runs allowed, so he's been shoving. For the over-under, I see 8, but I see a couple of 7.5s out there if you do want the over. King and the Padres are minus 150. I see the Red Sox at around plus 132. So for this game, I'm going to go Boston, but only because I don't want to lay 150 and change with a guy that hasn't pitched in basically 3 months. So it's mainly the spot for me. If King was pitching without coming off the IL, I would take him. Too much uncertainty, though, for this price for me to actually lay this San Diego, but I do like the under in the game. I think 8 is too high. Giolito's been good. I think King can go fine as well. Give me the under, but for value, give me the Red Sox at plus 130 and change.
Yeah, I never imagined Lucas Giolito being 8-2 with a mid-3 ERA. You're right. He's actually been better than I thought he was going to be. Because there are some outings where you look at Lucas Giolito and you're like, I just don't see it. But I agree. The value has to be with the Red Sox here. I got plus 132. My numbers only made him a minus 120 favorite, the Padres. I get it. Both teams have been playing hot, but my cap came down to this is only Michael King's second start in over 2 months. So I got to take the Red Sox here. They're red hot. I know they're under 500 on the road, but I just trust the bats way more than I do the Padres. Did you like that Ryan O'Hearn trade?
I thought it was fine. They basically got 2 separate guys who are going to be, I don't know if specialist is the right term, but they got O'Hearn and Laureano. 2 guys that are going to be, I'd say, non-full-time starters, but you can throw in a quality bat when needed. I was fine with it. I mean, I don't think they move the needle by any means, but it does give them a little bit of extra depth.
And it says to their fans, at least we tried to do something.
They got Mason Miller, too. They gave way too much for Miller, but they made some moves.
Yeah.
So,
but I agree on the under. The wind's going to be blowing in. And historically, the under has been the play at Petco Park. I mean, on the year, 32-22 towards the under here at home. We're going to have winds blowing in. And like you said, Lucas Giolito has been really good. So I made my total 7.6. 8 seems a little high for these two, but value is going to be with the Reds. Give me the Red Sox, excuse me. Give me the dog.
Yep. I see a comment here. By the way, loyalty, we are doing the games for Saturday. We do the game that's happening tomorrow. Buehler-Pivetta is tonight. So we broke down that matchup yesterday. So keep that in mind. This is the Saturday picks episode.
That's the title.
Yeah, but I'm saying the point is that if you're new to the channel, we break down games that are the next day, not today. This is the Saturday game break.
So I think who was on it yesterday? Mal and Lante?
I was with, I believe it was Lante. So
okay, yeah. So you and
if
Lante.
you want the thoughts on Buehler-Pivetta, check out the episode from yesterday for Friday's games. So
Absolutely.
there you go. Anyway, point is moving on to the next game. I see the Blue Jays taking on the Dodgers. Now, for this one, you are looking at what should be an interesting matchup because you have Bassett against Snell. Now, for the pricing, Dodgers are going to be favorites. There's no line here, but I'm curious how much of a favorite they'll be. Snell hasn't pitched much this season. He was okay against the Rays, but once again, Snell has really been a question mark all season. For his numbers, though, he has been fine, but he's made one outing since April. So not really much to go by. As for Bassett, he's been good this season. 11-5, 4.12 ERA. Been really bad on the road, though. A 6.45 ERA. He was good last start against the Royals at home. 6 innings, 1 run. The question is, based on the Dodgers' recent form, even though Bassett's been really bad on the road, do I want to actually lay a decent number with Los Angeles when Toronto's been a team, what I think's been in better form for the last month or two? I'll ask you, because it might depend on the line, but I'll ask, what's your cutoff for not taking the Dodgers in this game?
I made him a -130 favorite. That's where I would go.
I'm assuming they will be a bigger favorite than that.
Yeah, but my worry is exactly what you said. Chris Bassett has been good, yes, but on the road, he is not someone I really want to back. I think it came down to, do you think the offense is going to prevail like they did against the Rockies? I don't. I think they'll be fine, but what do you think Blake Snell's going to do? I mean, you didn't really have the best first start against the Rays, and Rays aren't really a team that blows you over. So if he didn't really do well against the Rays, I guess my expectation is he's not really going to have a good outing against the Blue Jays either. So depending on the price, if we get a +130 or higher, I think I got to take the Blue Jays. They're the better team, in my opinion.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I feel the same exact way. Based on price, I'll go with Toronto. So I'll go from there. I do think you could also mention that the Dodgers bullpen was especially bad in that Cardinals series.
Terrible.
So even if they're leading the game, Snell's probably going 5, which opens the door for 4 innings of whatever the Dodgers bullpen has in store, which could be a problem too. So I'll go with the Blue Jays, depending on the total. Give me the over in this game.
Are you thinking, because we mentioned the Cubs kind of turning it around, the Rangers. Do you think the Dodgers are going to be one of those teams that kind of turns? Because I'm still waiting.
To be honest, no. I feel like it can be easily. I'd say this could turn into a potential click-worthy moment, a clickbait moment when I'd say in the future when the Dodgers actually turn it on, somebody's going to refer back to this and go, "Oh, Scott, what an idiot. Said the Dodgers aren't going to do anything." Yeah. I got to be honest here. I think right now they are an extremely overrated baseball team.
Very.
Ohtani, we know, has been very good. The pitching experiment did not work out because he got hurt again. Well, he was good last start, but do I think that he'll be an actual starter in the postseason? No. So I'm kind of curious what the plan is in the postseason. I think that Freeman's been fine. Betts has been horrific, which has been a problem. Muncy might come back at some point. We'll see. But just keeping an eye on the Dodgers, I've just been very underwhelmed. And people keep picking this team to, of course, make noise because they won it last year and they have all the talent in the world on paper. It feels like this team is destined for another Dave Roberts, either one and done or just an underachieving playoff run. I'm really not as in on the Dodgers as I think most people are because I've just been watching this team. You could argue that they're coasting. There's a difference between coasting, like the Tigers, when you're up by, I don't even know, like 10 games in that division.
Yeah.
And you're like 3 up on San Diego. The Dodgers aren't even coasting. I just think they're not that good right now. So I'm not high on Los Angeles. That their trade deadline was quite underwhelming. Mm-hmm. They traded away May, who I thought was an okay arm for them. I found that move kind of fascinating. I'll put it this way. I'm higher on other teams than the Dodgers in the postseason.
I agree, especially with the way the Padres have been playing. They're only 2 back right now. I'm not sold on them either. Just main point because I don't trust their bullpen at all. I don't think they're good at all. And I think you mentioned it. Last series showed a lot of their flaws in that bullpen. They're trading away some arms, and offensively at home, I think they're much better. But on the road, I really don't trust this team. And I think the market is overpricing them in a lot of situations where I think there are going to be a lot of spots where you could get their opponent at a really good price. And I think on principle, I'm going to be fading the Dodgers coming up.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as you. It's a situation where I understand why they are priced so highly because it's a public angle too.
And
so
the talent is there. You mentioned it. Look at the roster. The talent is there.
Yeah, the argument, though, is that, once again, if you want to try to get some either extra value or scare off public people from taking the Dodgers, then you're going to make them pay for it. And the argument is the Dodgers would be a very, I'd say, sought-after team by the public. So that might be why they're constantly overpriced. It's because they're a very popular public team, and they know that most people want to blindly take the Dodgers and the Yankees, and that's why there's a tax involved with the Dodgers. Yeah. But simply put, this team, I think, is very, very overrated right now. And that's kind of where I'm at with this team evaluation. So
I would agree.
There we go. We have one more game, though. We have the Rays taking on the Mariners. Mariners won game in extras yesterday. Fun game against the White Sox. For this one, you have Boyle against Evans. For the pricing, I see Seattle minus 125. I see the Rays at plus 110. For the over-under, I see 8 in this one. Evans, I think, is a pretty average pitcher. Boyle's been good, actually. A 2.3 ERA. Hey, he has walked 5 guys in his last 2 starts, but bad against the Yankees, was good against the Dodgers, but the Rays have not been good when he's actually pitched for results reasons, and on the road, he's not been nearly as good as he was at home. I'll go Seattle. I think they're the better team. Not really much else to add. You could argue both pitchers are kind of comparable, but I think Seattle's the better team. Give me Seattle at a pretty cheap number.
Yeah, cheap number at home, and the Mariners are just a much better team. 7-3, they're trending in the right way down the stretch in the season, whereas Tampa Bay is kind of just thrown in the towel. They're kind of a fade right now. The offense really hasn't been there for Tampa Bay recently. And I like Logan Evans. I think, yes, he might be a mediocre pitcher, but I think recently he has been better, whereas Boyle is just really not someone I want to back. Minus 125, I think, is a very fair price for the much better team. So, yeah, I'll take Seattle as well.
Yep, that's where I'm at. Anyway, it's going to wrap it up for all the games on the Saturday card. Before we get into the Lock and Dog picks, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Circa, because they're hosting 3 of the biggest NFL contests of the upcoming season. They have Circa Million, Circa Survivor, Circa Grandissimo, over $21 million guaranteed prize. You cannot cause yourself for true DGen if you're not competing in the contest. Hang out with SGPN guys as well at Circa Contest Weekend from August 21st, 23rd for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off your stay at Circa with the code SGP15. And a reminder, contest open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy at footballcontest.com. Use code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by Rhythm because they have power trends, which are now called Smart Signals, so a bit of a rebrand there, but it's the same nonetheless. Point is, though, you can use them for baseball and for WNBA. For baseball, they have a lot of player prop unders, so check those out. They've been hitting pretty well. For WNBA, Smart Signals are 97 and 65 in July, ROI of 15.64%. So they were really good last month. They've been good this month, too. Fun fact, Adam and I have been betting them on a book or two, and they threw us off the book because we made too much money. That is a true story. So that actually did happen, courtesy of Power Trends from Rhythm. But a reminder, download the app, check out Power Trends or Smart Signals, start betting smarter. And a reminder, you can also get a free trial for a week by using the partnership link with SGPN, sportsgamepodcast.com, to get your 7-day free trial. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the games for Saturday. Time to move on into the Lock and Dog picks. Dylan, I'll let you go first. What's going to be your Lock and Dog for the show?
Yeah, for my lock, I'm going to go back to that Minnesota and Kansas City game. I'm going to take Kansas City with Noah Cameron. Minus 115, I think, is a very fair price here. He's actually been better on the road than at home. Batter's only hitting under 200 against him. And we're just going to fade Bailey Ober. He stinks. He's given up 4+ runs in 6 straight starts dating back to July. So, yeah, Royals should win this game. I'm going to take Kansas City here. And for my dog, I really didn't give that many plus money prices. I actually did. Give me the Red Sox. Lucas Giolito, you mentioned he has been much better as of late. Padres have been good, but Michael King, second start in over 2 months. Think we're going to fade him here at home. The offense definitely have the advantage with Boston. So I'm going to take the Red Sox here. I think this is a good spot for them at plus 132.
Yeah, so for my lock, a couple of things I could choose from, but I think I'm going to go with a play that I got to give out just from principle. Give me the over in the Rockies and Diamondbacks game. I think it's too appealing. You are looking at the over right now being set at 9.5. I think that you could argue it's too low. You're looking at Erod, who's been really bad this season. The Rockies, though, have been good against them. The active batters have a 370 batting average against them lifetime. As for Blaylock, He's been terrible. You're looking at his numbers recently. So far the season, 7.68 ERA. Last start, 7 earned in 5 2/3 against the Pirates. I think he's going to struggle in the spot. You're looking at what I think should be a pretty entertaining game. Usually the matchups between the Rockies and the Diamondbacks are, because neither team can pitch, and you get a bit of chaos there. So give me the over in that game as my lock. Think you'll see a high-scoring game. I see minus 102 as the best price on DraftKings right now for the total. Give me the over 9.5 as my lock. For my dog, what did I want to go with for this one? Thought about the A's because they are plus money in a spot. You mentioned Boston, so I'm not going to take them as well. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll go for it. Give me the A's on the money line here at around plus 106. Perkins is fine. I think you're looking at Young, who I'm not a fan of. I know he's been better lately, but not really that interested. The A's offensively have been objectively good on the road recently. Good enough for me. I'll give me the A's plus 106 as my dog for the show. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Dylan, anything else you want to add?
No, should be a fun weekend. Any big plans for you this weekend?
This weekend, no. I'm going to be hanging around. I already did my packing for Vegas, but for the most part, just chilling.
Just please don't get COVID the week before you go. Please.
That's why I left the apartment.
Good.
So that's why I put myself in quarantine, not because I have COVID, but I'm trying to avoid getting it. So
yeah. When do you leave?
I leave on the 13th.
I don't know. What day is that?
That is Wednesday.
Wednesday. All right. How long are you going? Wednesday to what?
I'm going to be leaving on Sunday.
Oh, nice little 4 or 5 day trip. That should be fun.
Yes. For Vegas, it is very expensive to travel through the weekend as well. So looking forward to it, but I'll put it this way. I see a bunch of posts going on social media now. Maybe it's just how the algorithm works for me because I'm constantly talking about gambling. They keep talking about how tourism in Vegas keeps plummeting, and people have some interesting theories. Some of them are, borderline racist or xenophobic. It's too expensive. It's not that complicated. It's very expensive to go to Vegas. Yeah.
I haven't seen those. You got
I've seen a couple.
You got to at them at me. I don't see that.
Either way, point is, people come up with their own reasons. Some people argue about immigrants or whatever. Like, it has nothing to do with that at all. I guarantee you that it's because they're charging $60 for resort fees and they're charging $12 for water. I guarantee you that the main reason why most people don't go to Vegas is because, one, it's 100 plus degrees outside right now, so it's the off season for tourism. Second of all, it's very, very expensive. That's the reason. There's not any other reasons. It's very, very expensive to go to Vegas. That's really all I have to say about the traveling.
What airline are you taking?
I'm a Delta guy.
Nice. I'm a JetBlue guy.
See, I was a fan of JetBlue as well, and I feel like Delta lapped them.
Really? I think Delta's more expensive?
No, that's the thing, though, is the price is kind of the same. Of course, it sometimes varies depending on what time you want to fly and stuff like that. But I don't bring any bags. I have a carry-on, so I don't have to worry about paying for bags or anything. But I think Delta has surpassed JetBlue for me when it comes to, in my opinion, best airline. I like Delta.
Yeah, I got to try it out. I'm flying JetBlue to Florida at the end of August, but...
I still like JetBlue, by the way. I'm not against JetBlue. I'm going to sound really spoiled right now. I think Delta has better in-flight entertainment.
That's fair. I mean,
which matters to me. If I'm flying 5.5 hours, I need a movie to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I download all my podcasts and movies beforehand, so I'm good. But nothing beats Spirit, though. Let's be honest.
So when you say nothing beats it, are you talking about prices or are you talking about the experience?
The prices.
So I flew Spirit Airlines one time, coincidentally from Vegas. It was the cheapest flight. I was leaving at like 6 a.m. I'm like, perfect for me. I'm a red-eye flight on the return guy.
I love early morning flights.
I'll pass out on the plane. I'll get back, and it's like 11 o'clock. My day's not wasted. I'm a really consistent red-eye flyer on the way back. The point is, I show up to Spirit. I get through security, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they have the hidden fees for the bag. So I got basically schemed out of having to pay an extra like $60 because I didn't know any better. First time flying Spirit, I didn't know. So I had to pay that. And I remember at the airport in Vegas, it was probably like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And one flight, where the hell was it headed?
Myrtle Beach.
No, I want to say it was headed to like Detroit or Chicago. And there was a flight that got delayed by probably like 7 or 8 hours, maybe beyond that, because it was snowing.
Yeah.
I went in like January or something. It was snowing in one of those two places. And there was almost a borderline riot at the gate right next to my gate because they kept suspending the flights and people kept showing up to the airport for it to get delayed again. Wow. And they would like be losing their minds. So I almost witnessed a damn, I don't want to say it was like a World Star video, but it was almost approaching that territory. I thought at some point somebody was going to jump the counter and start punching the person behind the counter. It was very heated. Yeah. It was a very heated altercation that I saw at the airport. That was my only time ever dealing with Spirit. The bags kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I didn't know about it. I feel like I kind of got duped.
You got conned.
$60.
Yeah.
Basically, not to mention they had like no chargers, they had no entertainment, like whatever. Like it sucked. But the point is, I almost witnessed an airline or airport brawl. And that's my main story for Spirit at 3 a.m.
The only way I take Spirit is I think it's like a 65-minute plane ride from Newark Airport. That's like 20 minutes from me to Myrtle Beach. And only Spirit's a direct nonstop flight. So I'm like, fuck it, I could do it for 67 minutes. But the problem is when you do Spirit, they have the last right to reserve to leave the runway. So they're always getting delayed, always getting pushed back. So that's why I was like, fuck this, gonna fly JetBlue. And I just had the best experience. And I have like a credit card through them, so I get points. But I like JetBlue a lot. Well, I'm gonna try Delta. Next trip, I'm gonna try Delta because of you.
Once again, I still like Delta. I have no issues with Delta or JetBlue in general. I just think Delta's slightly better.
Yeah.
But either way.
Enjoy.
Thank you. I will try. Anyway, until next time, I'm on Twitter, Rich Radio. Find him on Twitter at Rock with 2Ks24. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bats. Bye, everyone.